Everybody searching for it. Some travel far and wide for it. But they don't even realize that love is on the inside, yeah. Said she'll love you forever. He said he'll be near no matter the weather. Yeah. Listen. Don't put your trust in man. Oh. Leave it to the man with the plan that can. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to It's a Love Thing. I am Lady Rhonda Joyner, and I am excited to have the Divine Nine in the house. I am excited about that. So the Divine Nine refers to a group of 9 Greek letter, historically sororities and fraternities, including the first Divine Nine fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, 1906, Cornell University. The first Divine Nine sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, 1908, Howard University. Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, 1911, Indiana University. Omega Psi Phi fraternity, 1911, Howard University. Delta Sigma Theta sorority, 1913, Howard University. Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, 1914, Howard University. Zeta Phi Beta sorority, 1920, Howard University. Sigma Gamma Rho sorority, 1922, Butler University. And we have Iota Phi Theta fraternity, 1963, Morgan State University. Oh, come on and give it up. All of these organizations. I'm excited that you all are here today. And the reason I chose this season is because the kids are going back to school or going to school. They're going to college, and they may want to pledge one of these beautiful sororities or fraternities. So we're here today with you all representing your organization, and we're going to get right into it. Before we do, when they go on campus or whatever, there's something called informationals. I learned that today. Said another word, but it wasn't right. So informationals is an opportunity for both freshmen and members of sororities and fraternities to socialize and see whether or not they are a good match. Once the informational week is over, if college freshmen have fascinated the members of the sororities and fraternities, they will receive invitation offers to join them. So we're going to jump right into it. Y'all feel okay? Y'all feel welcome? Did I treat you good this morning? Got your little snacks? You feel welcome? Great. Thank you. First question on the floor. Why did you choose this organization?
Well, I chose my organization because I grew up in a house where I didn't have any brothers. And my best friend and his 2 cousins had already played IOTA before I came to Virginia State. And they introduced me to the chapter Polaris at the time. He was at work, working in Kenny's in the mall down in Virginia State. I go in, we sitting there talking. This cat talking to me the whole time while he at work. I come to school that January, still hanging out with them. I'm hanging with them the whole time I'm in school. People actually thought I was already at IOTA before I even became one. And I just saw the brotherhood that they had. I mean, these cats ate breakfast, lunch, dinner. We hung out in the evening together. They was getting ready to go to a conclave or something in Indianapolis. And I was getting ready to go. They was like, man, you want to go? I'm like, I'm not a bro. They was like, that don't matter. You can roll with us. I'm like, what? I've never had a group of guys treat me like that. So it was like, okay, if this is how this is going to be, I can just imagine how to be once I'm actually a bro. And I'm not even a bro. So that was my biggest reason was the brotherhood is why I became a member of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated.
For me, I'll say when I was in high school, my senior year applying for colleges and scholarships, there was no other sorority that was giving out scholarships or anything. So Delta Sigma Theta was the only one, and I actually was the recipient of the scholarship. And I was like, what? Okay, thank you. So, I mean, growing up, I was on the step team. I had step coaches from other sororities and fraternities as well. But it was just something about Delta that was just based on education. It was really big on that. So for us, like, you can't pledge if you're a freshman. So you have to be like a sophomore, junior, or senior. So I knew when I went to college, I was like, that's it. Like, that's what I'm going to do. That's it. Because I was big on education as well. So that's why.
So we've talked about brotherhood, sisterhood. We've talked about scholarship. For me, it was service, and I felt that I was a small part of I want to be a small part of something big, and I was able to see in our sorority that we were actually serving in the community, and I wanted to be a small part of something big.
We'll hit this side.
For me, as the first member of my family to go to college, when I got on the campus, it was just overwhelming. It was, such a huge campus. A lot was going on, and I remember that first week, it started a tuition strike because they were raising tuition, so the students on campus locked arms around the administration and the administration building, and the brothers that were spearheading that effort were Sigma men. And so social justice has always been a big component of my life. I went to Malik El Majad, I went to Malcolm X school in Harlem, New York, and for me, that social justice component was huge. And when I saw the guys that were leading it, and then got to know them, throughout the semester, and then the next semester, that really resonated with me.
Okay.
I would say for me, I grew up around sororities and fraternities on the Eastern Shore. My cousin, who's a soror, but I came a different way. My father was in the military. So when I went to college, it was like, wow. But then my senior year, I was an actual AKA calendar girl. So everybody assumed that's what I was going to do. But when I went to Bowie, and I saw the community service, which is what I was big on because I came from a military environment and the brotherhood and sisterhood. But really, what sold me out was in my freshman year, I was in a car accident. And I saw how the Divine Nine wrapped themselves around me when I came back on campus and really helped me out and pursued me. And so when I decided, I looked at Zeta and I was like, we did a lot in the community. Like we would go to the juvenile detention centers and things of that nature. So that's what really sold me on the community service. And then the whole brotherhood, sisterhood of the Divine Nine is what really sealed the deal for me.
Well, when I knew that I was gonna join a I knew I was going to join a fraternity um, at some point. You know, when I was in, I have members of the Divine Nine in my family. I have AKAs, I have alphas, I have Qs. So I knew I was going to pledge something if I had the opportunity. So when I got to Delaware State, it was in the back of my mind. I went to all the meet the Greeks, like see what they're about, because I had never met like a lot of members of the other organizations. I had never met to be honest, I had never met a Kappa before. So it was that fall semester homecoming week, as a matter of fact, when all the Kappas came back. You know, you had the step show popping off. You had like this event over here, this event over here. It was just something about the way they carried themselves. And the saying goes, when you know, you know. Like, I had no intention of I didn't even know what Kappa was all about. But when I saw them, there was something that perplexed me. I was like, they go so hard, but they're so smooth. They know something I don't know. They know something I don't know, and I need to know it. So bided my time, did my research, because you gotta do your research for these organizations. You gotta know what you're talking about. You gotta know what you're entering into. And when I had the opportunity, I seized it. So
I'm gonna reiterate pretty much what everyone said. The sisterhood is what drew me in, but the service is what sold me. Growing up, I actually had three sisters, but I didn't meet them till I was an adult. But I had aunts and like my mom's friends who were members of sororities, but they were only children, but they always talked about sisters, or they only had brothers, but they always talked about sisters. And I was like, I want a circle of friends like that is so dope. They're just there for each other. They're like family, but they didn't meet till college, and it was just amazing. And then when I did my research, the service initiatives that Alpha Kappa Alpha has launched in this country, forget community, in this country, are monumental and historic. And I just wanted to be a part of that.
Okay, thank you. So, can each of you give me a brief history of your organization and how long you have been a part of your organization?
I guess I'll start. Okay. So, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was founded on the campus of Howard University on January 13th, 1913 by 22 illustrious women. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is focused on college-educated women committed to constructive development of its members and to public service with a primary focus on the Black community. I have been a member for almost 10 years, so I'll be 10 in April next year. So, yes.
Anything else? Okay. Right. That was so complex. You gave ours. So, Butler University, 7 educators. And we have greatest women, greater world now. It's been greater service, greater progress. But after Centennial, we're focused on being greater women, greater world. I joined spring 2007, Iota Sigma chapter.
Founded September 19th, 1963, Morgan State University by our 12 founding brothers on the steps of Hirsch Gymnasium. Our biggest thing is building a tradition, not resting upon one. So we founded in the heart of the Civil Rights Movement, 1963, and that we celebrate that march today. So that's one of the things doing my research I was real focused on, because I have my family members was involved in stuff like that. So it made me want to. That's what pushed me to become another part of the reason why it pushed me to become an IOTA. I've been in this bad boy for 32 years. Spring 1991, Eva Ada chapter, Virginia State University.
I am not going to be as complex as because y'all should know this history. No, I'm just joking. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was founded on the campus of Howard University on January 15th, 1908. I joined the sorority. I'm probably the baby here. I've only been an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman for 2 years. Joined the historic Delta Omega chapter in Petersburg, Virginia. We are the 4th graduate chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha, so one of the oldest and probably one of the largest.
So Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated was founded on the campus of Indiana University on January 5th, 1911 by 10 distinguished young men. Our motto is achievement in every field of human endeavor. And what we do um, is encompassed by that creed.
Theta Phi Beta was incorporated in January 16th, 1920 on Howard University. Our illustrious brothers felt the need to find a true sister organization. We are the only true constitutionally bound fraternity and sorority in the Divine Nine. We have our distinguished five pearls that have diligently instilled into us our five principles. I was a member on Spring 91, Bowie State University, Omicron Gamma chapter, and I've been in for 32 years.
Wow, okay.
Sorry, let me say that one more time. I forgot to mention how long I've been in the organization. Hey, so, I crossed March 14th, 2009. So I've been in for 14 years and counting.
Okay.
All right. So I gotta represent that royal blue and pure white. So Phi Beta Sigma fraternity was founded January 9th, 1914 on the campus of Howard University. I guess I'm the oldest one by three honorable brothers that founded the organization. And I guess I'm the oldest one on the panel here because I crossed May 30th, 1990 on the campus of City College in New York. Spring 90, which is the last of the above ground, which we can get into another time or not. But we're known, Spring 90 is known as the last of the above ground pledge line. So anyway, Alpha Delta City College in New York, Spring 90, and we're the oldest chapter in the state of New York.
Wow. Yep. Okay, that was really, really interesting. So, can we talk about process at all? Or whatever you can share about your process. How long was it, and did you love or dislike your process? Passing the mic. Can you repeat those questions? Process. Okay.
Yeah, we can work on that part. I would like to share a unique thing. I came solo. And exactly, see their faces? And so I like that, but and so when I've been adopted, you understand, but it's also it was a lot. A lot to learn on your own. And so I encourage others that, y'all have a line of numbers, so that's something that I would like to share that I like. But then there's a side that was like, ooh, girl, you good. Anything else you want to know? All right.
No, I'm good, girl.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyone else? Process.
I kind of,
Okay. So I have seven of us on my line, and I transferred my junior year, so I actually crossed that year. So me coming in, I didn't know anybody. Everybody knew each other already, so I'm just like, so I had a lot to prove. But I was a smart girl. I had straight A's. I had 3.9 GPA. So I held them down with, we was good. So, I mean, that was probably the only thing I had to prove myself to everyone, like, who is this new girl here? Because everybody thought, like, I used to dress up a lot, have makeup on, my hair done, so they thought I wanted to be AKA. So they was like, what? Like, why are you? And I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. So that was it for me.
Now, what you said? What was the question again?
How long was the process? And did you like or not?
Now, we ain't asking how long people. All I'm gonna say that what I liked about my process is my line brothers. I was able to obtain friendships with people I probably would have never ever introduced myself to on campus at any point. At any point, my deuce and I actually ended up living together during the whole process. So, and then we ended up living together after the process when we got the frat house. There was a bunch of us in the house, and him and I found the house together. So, and we still keep in contact to this day. He's out in Hawaii right now, but I'll say those friendships that I developed is what I like. Dislike is multiple things you can dislike about it. I mean, it's not anybody like you and I was having a conversation earlier. anybody who tells you that they are willing to go back through this process all over again, you never went through a process.
Right.
You've never went
You
through a
never.
process. If you went through a real deal process, you ain't trying to do this all over again.
Nope.
I don't care what age you at, you ain't trying to do this over again.
And third. Okay. Oh. I would say like I said, what I would like coming from being an only child and not having anybody. I liked about being able to bond with my sisters, with my line sisters. It was 5 of us, and our age ranged from to 19 to 20. So it was like we had and a whole diverse background. Our line was the first line to have a white, which was my deuce, um, on our line at Bowie. So it was a lot of proving that we could do that, and she was my support because I was the eighth. So, but that sisterhood, because for me being an introvert, I probably would have never, I would have walked through the whole 4 years and not know nobody. But that bond and that corroborated learning the similarities and learning a lot about yourself through that whole process, because I really learned a whole lot about myself. The tolerance, what I could do, what I couldn't do, and the fact that you do need to lean on somebody, and sometimes you can't do it by yourself. So I think that's what I like most about the whole process.
So I'll say there were 6 of us on our line, and I didn't have the opportunity to cross Kappa um, while in college at my undergraduate institution, Delaware State University, my beloved alma mater. So I had to wait. Till I graduated and get the opportunity and the money to come through the alumni chapter. So I guess the process between I'll say this as far as Cap Alpha Psi, the process that we go through now, we call it the membership training academy. We recently changed the name, membership training academy. So everyone goes, every member of the fraternity goes through that process now to join. You learn your information. You do what you have to do. You create this bond between your line brothers, um, to at which becomes the bond that you create with the fraternity, um, as well along the way.
Um, so undergraduate process, graduate process, either or, the process is gonna make or break you. Kind of the opposite of Shauna. I crossed with 59 other women. There were 60 of us on my line. So imagine having to learn 59 personalities, work together in unison with 59 other women. It's that time of year, y'all know. It's football season. It's all right. But so I will say, honestly, it was probably the most overwhelming part of my process, but the most beneficial. Immediately, I gained 59 sisters. I've learned now there's no hard thing I cannot do. There's no thing that I cannot accomplish after that process.
Okay, so if someone wanted to join your organization, how does one pursue membership? That'll be a no? Okay, we're moving on. Like, how does
Yeah,
one?
You want me to
Let's do
specify?
both.
It's the same
Okay,
answer.
well, one person can answer. Okay,
Oh,
one person can answer. That, so that was fine.
you were first. Everybody has what's called informational meetings.
Okay.
It may be called differently. So your first thing, well, let me backtrack. The first thing is to do your research.
Mhm.
Yep.
Do your research on not just the organization, but the chapters that are affiliated with that, because you do not just want to become a member of just anybody or any chapter. You want to know what's the best fit for you. So you do your research. And then whichever one you decide, you attend the meeting for that. You attend whatever activities or whatever it is that you want to do. But first and foremost, do your research. Okay.
Research the members of that particular chapter that you're trying to join.
Yeah. And
That was
as
good.
far as when you're pursuing an organization, one thing that's important to keep in mind, you have to make yourself known somehow. That's why it's important to go to the informationals when the chapters have events. It's not rocket science. Go to the event, show up, shake some hands. So when you do pursue membership, people know who you are already. They know hopefully they remember you. So I'll just say that.
So let's go back to that response that you did. So why is it important? Why is that important?
I'm just gonna use me as an example. All right, coming to Virginia State in high school, my senior year of high school, um, we went to JMU. Me and a bunch of my boys from high school to Black Weekend at JMU because his sister was on the track team up there. She was a shopper. So we at the step show. And my cousin, whose father is a member of another organization, we all knew about that org. So he was giving us the spiel on everybody else's organization. What's their, the question you talked about, stereotype. So I'm like, all right, so okay, now I ain't getting down with that because that's that stereotype. Can't do that. I ain't getting down with that. So then the organization that we all was thinking about joining when we got to college, when I got to Virginia State and saw that organization, how they carried themselves, I like, that ain't how I get down. That's what I mean. When you have to look at the personalities of the people that you're getting involved with. Because if that personality does not fit with you, this is not going to be a perfect match for you.
I also elaborate too. I have a lot of friends who are other in other sororities and stuff, or even in the same one that I am in. And I've heard stories about they're like, oh, I wish I never, crossed this chapter and stuff like that, just because of the people that's in it. They didn't think about me joining this chapter. This sisterhood I'm joining is really not a sisterhood. Like I remember my teacher in high school, he was a Kappa, and he always said everyone would be your soror, but not everybody would be your sister.
Yep.
And I tell people that now because I'm just like, that is true. So I know for me, before I even came to the school, I was researching people on their Instagram. I was like a stalker. But I need to know who these people are because I want to know, like, I want to be a part of a chapter that is going to make me feel whole and make me feel like a sister. So some of my friends, they're just like, man, I wish I would have did this or I wish I would have did that. And I'm like, should have did your research with that too. So yeah.
I would like to add, as we have transfers, you made me think of something, and they'll say, oh, I'm chapter da 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 da, and hold their head. No, hold your head up.
Right.
Because you belong to our organization. You're a soror. So, I mean, that's something that we all are, becoming aware of and how we can help each other heal as we go through, Tim.
I was just going to say the same thing that she said because a lot of times what somebody presents during whatever activity that sorority is doing may not be the same person outside. They may present a whole different persona or realistic. So you had to look at the whole individual, the whole chapter, and what you see fit. Because I've had a personal experience where I've had to learn the true meaning of sisterhood, something that I did not know by taking care of another soror. And realizing that, I was like, oh, wow, this is what sisterhood really means. Taking care of somebody else that's not your blood, that's not who you are. So, and not everybody can handle that. Oh, that's good. So, you had, and I learned from my other sorors that, some can handle this situation, some can handle that. But you got to learn as a unit to work together. And not everybody that has it can do that.
So,
I said I wasn't going to talk. But you made me think. Recently, this is being transparent. I had surgery this in June. And so my husband would say, another one of your sorors and sent this. I don't know which soror it is, but and it was almost every day someone was attending came to the hospital the day of, you know what I mean? And not in an intrusive way, you know, but just, we're here. What do you need? How can I help? And that's something that is, you know, it's going to be for my lifetime. It's not just, you know, because like you said, because we're blood, it's because I have a duty to, you know, be your sister.
I just wanted to add one more,
Okay, that's all
one more
right.
thing, just to kind of piggyback on what everyone's been saying. But there's collegiate chapters and there's alumni chapters, and so along the lines of what everyone's saying, if you're looking to join as a collegiate, you only have that one chapter, so it can be very limiting. But that's why you want to get to know the members of that organization because it's just that one chapter on that campus. There's no
Okay.
option. But if you decide to go, or maybe you do your research and you decide I want to join this organization, but I'm not really feeling the bros on this yard or the sisters on this, just not connecting, then maybe you wait till alumni after you graduate,
Okay.
and then you can join any chapter, or you have more options. I can only speak for my organization. You may have more options if you're looking at Richmond metropolitan area.
Okay.
And so that's just something to take a look at. Because, a lot of people may say, oh, well, I want to go collegiate because I feel like I'm going to get more respect. Or, it's not really about that. It's about doing the work, the service, the organization, the connection, the brotherhood, the sisterhood. And so whether it's collegiate or it's alumni, it's all the same organization.
So since you brought that up, when it came to undergrad, grad chapter, honorary, um, can someone explain what that is? And then I have heard, I am not in any organization, but I have heard that the respect level for, I guess it's the collegiate versus grad, is a little different. I don't know whether or not it's a respect thing. I heard. I'm just telling you what I heard. So, yeah, right.
My back is to you.
The last part where you said the respect part, it's this. Well, I can only speak for my organization. It's the same across the board. The respect part. I'm trying to say it in a way that the respect comes from who actually, honestly, it's the same respect level whether you grad or undergrad, because nobody really, really knows when you in a national organization, unless you running your mouth, ain't nobody gonna know. But honestly, your dean, the person who's director of intake is the one who garners that respect for you. Because if you are being brought in by somebody who has a lot of respect and is well known within that area of buzz, then that you're going to automatically gain that respect because people trust that brother or that sister's knowledge about the organization, what they teach you. So it doesn't matter whether you undergrad, grad. IOTA currently doesn't do the honorary thing. That's not our thing. It's something that's been talked about, a lot of pushback, but it's just not our thing. You either coming in grad or you coming in undergrad. Ain't no other way to come in this bad boy.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's educational for me because I didn't know that. I didn't know that IOTAs. All the rest of you all do honorary.
Cap Alpha
Oh.
Psi. Cap Alpha Psi.
honorary.
We. Hey, and let him get the mic. Let him get the mic.
Yeah, he said unfortunate.
Yeah, I say unfortunate. I'm not a fan of honorary membership. So that's just my personal belief. Phi Beta Sigma, we do have honoraries. I've just felt that a lot of times the honoraries may come in with a certain level of cachet and exposure, but doing the work over a long period of time. I've been in this organization 33 years, and I've been doing the work since day one. And so to just bestow it upon someone isn't something that I think is right, and I don't agree with it. But having said that, my organization does it.
Okay.
So that's just Kevin Holder's personal opinion on the Rhonda Joyner It's a Love Thing show. Kevin Holder is saying that, and I stand by it.
Well, Cap Alpha Psi, fraternity also does not. We don't do honorary members. Um, everyone who comes into this organization, this fraternity, this brotherhood comes through the exact same way.
All right. So we are here on It's a Love Thing podcast. And I always want to draw love in every episode, everything that I do. So how does love radiate through your organization? How does love, how do you express it, say it, mean it, don't mean it? Love, we're talking about love. So from each organization.
I'll say for Alpha Kappa Alpha, it's in our motto, service to all mankind. Like the whole purpose of this organization is to not just show love, to actively love on our communities, but inside of the organization, whereas we're built on community service and service to the world, we are of service to each other, right? Just like Shauna said, when she was in the hospital, not intrusive, not being nosy, like genuinely, sis, what do you need? I am here. Um, really, I'm sure I speak for everybody. It's woven into our sisterhoods and our brotherhoods to really stand in the gap for our sisters and our brothers. So it's a part of every meeting. It's a part of every activity. It's a part of every event. There is some place or space where we are loving on each other before we go out and do this service in the community.
I feel like for us, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, I feel like love is just, it's inevitable. It's there. Like me moving to Richmond, I could just meet a soror on the street and they just take me in. Like it's nothing. Like they knew me for the rest of, for my whole entire life. I remember when I was working in New York in Barnes & Nobles, I met an older soror and she was just such the sweetest lady. And she was just giving me things, giving me knowledge, giving me tangible things, and just was just like, I just love you. Like, I don't even know you, but I just love you just because. And I'm just like, wow. So for me, with like younger sorors that come in, I'm like a big sister to people in so many chapters out here. And I feel like what was done to me, I do to them. So I treat them with love. Anybody needs anything from me, they can call me. If I got it, I got you. Whether if I can't give it to you, I can get someone else to give it to you. But I just feel like love is love. Like we just gonna figure it out and we gonna help each other. And that's what I do love. Even with just other sororities too. Like we all look out for each other. So not even just your own sorority, but even your fraternity. Like we're like a big family, honestly. So
Okay. I was like, I got to answer. When you first asked the question, my thought was kind of as Chantel said, we have internal and external ways to show love. And so internal, like I spoke to that, but I feel as well as leaders, what do you all need? So we offer professional development. What is yours? We know, okay, we need a nurse. We have 11 nurses, like we're on it. And then externally as well, when they just had the shooting Virginia Tech, we have this many counselors. We're in formation. What do you need? And so I think our expression of love looks like dependability.
I mean, as far as my organization goes, it's in our brotherhood. It's already, as you were saying, it's already there, just based on your process and after becoming a bruh, we love each other. When you see us, we see each other, we dabbing each other. Like when your husband came in, first thing we do, we dab each other up, make sure you good. That's how we express love to each other. And then we always constantly in contact. I have one of my brothers always saying this: blood don't make you family. Blood don't make you family. And I got a lot of family members that ain't blood.
Yeah.
And that's iota. I mean, I can go anywhere. Make a phone call, bro. I need someone to rock my head. Boom, I got somewhere to stay. Easy, not a problem. And it's just because of the connections that you make with everybody over time. I mean, 33 years, 32 years being in this bad boy. Yeah, you make some connections. So you can I can go anywhere in this country and make a phone call before I leave, or go on Facebook and be like, man, I'm coming out to such and such. And I promise you I can get about 20 responses back. Bruh, you good? Where you want to stay? You can lay on my couch. Easy.
My husband will not drive my car because he's getting beeped at. Yeah, but it's, again, your Sarah is, that's
Right.
him. He's from
That's it.
Mississippi. So, anywhere we go, it's love. And it's not just, my source, but it's we're loving.
And
And
just
I
to
would
piggyback
say,
off that too, like I remember when I was trying to graduate, I needed one last class and I had to pay for it. And there was a soror that was like, "Don't worry about it, I got you." And she paid for my entire class. And I was like, "How can I repay you?" And she was like, "Don't worry about it." But years later on, I ended up like getting her a ticket to one of her favorite artists, and I repaid her that way. But I was just like, just stuff like that is just like so small, but so big too at the same time. Yeah.
and I would say it doesn't just resonate with the individual, but it trickles down to your family because I know I was going through something with my family, and so my not just my divine nine, but my brotherhood stepped in and was mentoring my son, and so now he had that infection of, okay, I can do this. I know who I can call on. So it's not just within the organization, but it trickles to your family. And I think that's what makes us set aside from everyone else because we don't just look at individuals. We bring in that whole collective family network into the picture.
And most of them, like I don't know if they heard me. My father passed away. Everybody who pledged me, excuse me, everybody who had partook in my intake.
It's okay. It's okay to say it. It's okay.
Yeah, because I'm from that era.
Right.
Everybody who pledged me was there, and including some of the young boys. And some of them had never met my father. They just know my father from my stories about
Yeah.
my dad.
And that's enough.
And that touched me because it was cats like, I was like, bro, I ain't seen you in months. And you here for my pops? My pops ain't never even met you, dog. In my head, I'm thinking this. I'm not gonna say that right then and there, but I'm like, you here for my dad. So when people talk about, I'm not joining no fraternity because I got enough friends, bro, we all need people in our life. We all need people that you don't normally spend time with will pop up and spend time with you because you're in this organization.
Hey, I'll say this. This is something we were talking about before we went on live, but with our Divine Nine organizations, for us, it's a lifelong commitment. We were talking about how some of the other fraternities, sororities that you know you know don't have our same culture. You know, it's primarily you know that time when you're in school. Then after that, some of y'all were saying you go back for homecoming. You throw on the T-shirt, you celebrate, and you go back to your regular life. For us, being Divine Nine is like, it's a commitment. It's not just like it's not a commitment of period. It's lifelong. Now I'm going to be a Kappa till the day I die. When I die, I'm going to have a Kappa burial service. And for us, you're part of the fraternity, whether you're on this side of existence or the next side. So we're all united. But anything that you love, you're dedicated to, and being of that lifelong commitment, you know, it's a lifelong period of dedication. We throw in our letters, for all types of things, whether it's like uh for our organizations, whether it's social, whether it's business, whether it's conferences. We might just be going to the grocery store. It's lifelong. But the dedication is always there, and we're always at all periods of time we are representing our organization. I'll also say this last part. The good book, and I'm trying to remember the exact verse, but I'll have to paraphrase. But in the good book, it says, "Where your treasure lies, there your heart will be also." So, you know, these organizations, whether you're coming in, whether you're a part, keep in mind it's also not. Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap. So your money does go. Your your money does go to these organizations. Hey, but the same way you invest your treasure in your family, in your kids, in your whatever, in your business. You know, church, you invested also in these organizations. So love.
Well said. So, what projects does your organization participate in concerning community service? Different.
I would say for Zeta, we have what's called Z Hope. Zeta's helping others to excel. And so underneath that umbrella, we have yearly we participate in St. Jude's Hospital. We're a partnership with them. The American Cancer Society, in particular, breast cancer awareness. We do the walk every year. We do March of Dimes every year. That we, in addition to locally, our organization, we have had done few food baskets for those that were in need, especially during the holiday season, back to school supplies for those in the community. And then we've also been involved in social justice programs as well to in betterment of our community. So I would say for us, there are plenty of projects and they're done collectively and they're done individually. They're done with chapters. We may partner with one of the other Divine Nine to do something together. We do have the National Panhellenic chapter here in Richmond, and we do a lot underneath that umbrella as well. So um, I can be here for days to say what we do in the community, but those are our main points of interest. And we've also started an autism initiative awareness program, as well as we highlight our veterans, our military, those that have served in our community, whether it's we're providing something to them or just celebrating them as individuals in themselves.
So we have Phi Beta Sigma. We have several different initiatives. We have bigger and better business, social action, education, and also the Sigma Beta Club. And earlier, as my sister Otissa was talking about her son, I almost welled up because I know his son, I know her son, and the journey he's been through, and he was part of the Sigma Beta Club, which is our youth affiliate. So that's something that we work with, twice a month, working with young men from ages, from the sixth grade to 12th grade. So about 12, 13 until 18, 19. We have our bigger and better business where we have financial literacy workshops online as well as in person. Teaching, we teach people how to dress for success. So much more education. We have an adopt a school in Henrico, Chesterfield, Richmond, where we support the students as well as the teachers, the faculty, the leadership, the president, principal, assistant principal. Um, and then we also have our social action where we do health fairs, we do um, mental health webinars, especially from March 2020 when COVID started and there was a lot of anxiety and depression and a lot of things going on where people needed support and felt isolated and lonely. And so we started doing mental health webinars every month, every 2 months, just to really engage the community. And so, like my sister said, there's so much more I can talk about, but I want to give everyone an opportunity to speak. But there's several different.
I'm sorry, I forgot one piece, which was actually my heart when I came here was the youth. We have our Pearlettes, Arcanettes, and Amigettes, but we also have our Mikai, which is the Friends of Zeta. So those are individuals that may have an associate's degree or somebody that wants to be a part that we give back. And my heart, the elderly, is one of our bigger initiatives right now that we've got going on. So I apologize. I just wanted to.
You actually was where I was going. I mean, I think we all have common national programs and initiatives. Again, St. Jude's and March of Dimes. Yeah, breast cancer, definitely. We also have a youth symposium where we are giving an opportunity for youth to come together. And this year we actually did a service project and not just kind of the same teaching model that they receive every day. So I also want to highlight we have Swim 1922, which is where we have swim clinics to teach and young people to swim. We know the statistics, unfortunately, in our community for those that drown. So that's been something that we've really, just opened up free classes on swimming. And it was something I also want to say, but you said it. We have the Philos and rowers and rosebuds. I know we didn't get the legacy stuff yet, but you hit on about the adoption piece, and that's what it's been for my children as well. It's that they are participating and serving independently. And it's not a mom that's saying, do this, but they've been adopted. And so now they're leading and serving in their schools and in their communities. So we just really want to equip the youth so that that's the next generation. We need to equip them.
All right. For as far as Cap Alpha Psi goes, I think you all have you know spoken of a lot of initiatives that our organizations tend to share. St. Jude's Hospital is one. We were actually the first ones to do that back in 2007 or 2008. We have our youth our youth development piece. We call ours Kappa League, where young men between the grades of 8 up to seniors in high school have the opportunity to come perform community service, learn by way of workshop, et cetera, et cetera. We also support military veterans is a big piece. Blacks in law enforcement is a big piece, and there's numerous others that I can't think of off the top of my head right now.
Um, like you heard, it's really rooted in all of our organizations, and a lot of times we partner. Alpha Kappa Alpha, we just started our new initiatives. They change every few years. So right now we're doing Build Our Economic Wealth, where we are supporting women entrepreneurs and doing business clinics, things of that nature. Um, my heart is, and I am actually the co-chair for my chapter, is advocate for a social justice committee where all of the initiatives there are. And we were talking about this before we went live about elections and voter knowledge and education and making sure we're getting our people to the polls. So for the next 12 months, y'all pray for me because that's what we're gonna be focused. I mean, literally, I'm chairing this committee at a time where we're about to embark on a presidential election, and it's so important to make sure that we're getting our youth, those over 18, to the polls to vote. Um, we also have initiatives like improving our communities where we're out planting trees. There are parts of this city that are 16 degrees hotter than another part of the city because there are no trees there. There's no tree canopies. And so we're doing those type of initiatives this year, and I cannot think of the other three off the top of my head. But in anything that's important in our community, you're gonna find a D9 there. We have our youth, our YLI, our Leadership Institute, but we're also making sure that we're developing our legacies and our young people for the future. So it's pretty much anything that you can think of that impacts our community. You're probably going to find a D9 initiative there.
I was basically we all have the same thing: St. Jude's, March of Dimes, breast cancer. We all have our youth initiatives that we do. Like IOTA has the IOTA Youth Foundation that we have that's throughout all our chapters. Each chapter has its own different things that we're involved. Like my chapter, we're involved in helping out with the Chesterfield Food Bank. So every third Saturday on the campus of Virginia State, we help distribute food to those who are food deprived. Is the word they want to use. We help out with that. That's been one of our biggest things that we consistently do with them to help give back to the community. It's multiple different things we do. Youth things at different schools because we got a lot of fraternity brothers that are like principals and teachers at different schools in the area. So we'll show up at different schools if they ask us to come in and speak to the kids and things like that nature. When I was in school, we had, which is no longer there in Virginia State, it was Virginia Avenue School. We had an actual program where I had set up for the ADA chapter, Virginia State chapter, to go in, and we was basically teachers' assistants for the third grade. We just went in and helped out, passing papers, grading papers, plus trying to keep that discipline in the classroom. So it's just stuff like that that we're more, I want to say more, I personally just like being more involved in the youth, mentoring and things of that nature. That's my thing.
And I'll keep it short and simple, but for us, like we go far as back as the Women's Suffrage March. We were the only sorority to participate in the Women's Suffrage March and for voter rights and stuff like that. So that was really big for us. So we always go to college campuses and around, and we'll do voter registration. I did that a lot. I was at Virginia State. I was at University of Richmond, Virginia Union. I was Virginia Tech. Like I was everywhere for 3 or 4 years doing that. I got tired of doing that because it was hot. But we do all like the same thing: economic development, education, international women's involvement, physical and mental health, which is one of my favorites because we do a lot of domestic violence programs and stuff, and that's like really big on my heart. So, yeah.
Your goal and objective for this is, when kids are, they're not kids, but adults, young adults are on campus, and how can they get involved? These are the things of how you can get involved. Get in there now and, donate, or if you have a skill that you can, an in-kind gift or something like that. We have Project Cradle Care. Buy some wipes, get a pack of diapers, and that's how you can really see what's going on internally.
So let's talk a little bit about a national conference. If do you all have them? If so, what are they called and when are they held?
We have Boule every 2 years, and the city changes. We just left Indianapolis, tore it up. No, I'm joking. We didn't. We had fun though. We had fun, and we learned, and we voted on stuff. And but yes, every 2 years, and we'll be in Texas this upcoming July.
Ours is called a conclave. We just had ours in Atlanta. The next one will be 2 years from now in Indianapolis.
Same for everybody.
It's
For all the sororities, it's the same.
and conclave. National, okay. So, there have been a lot of people, some people, denouncing.
Like, wait a minute.
For religious reasons. I've seen some on TikTok, I've heard, or whatever. So, do you have an opinion? If so, what is it? Or do you even care? Or does it matter on people denouncing from the organization that they worked so hard to get in, and now because, I don't know, they found Jesus or something to that effect, they're no longer a part?
I'm gonna say something, but I'm a so because probably one of the most recent ones that went viral was a member or former member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. This is Chantel's opinion.
Yeah, it ain't from the nationals.
That is her personal choice. Do I agree? No. Do I find truth in it? No. When people say, well, I found Jesus is all up in here. So, one, he's within you, and he is absolutely woven into the fibers of our organizations. So, does it change my view of my sorority? Absolutely not. That is a personal, very personal decision.
Same. This has nothing to do with IOTA nationally. This is my personal opinion about the whole thing. If you won't choose to denounce, denounce. But you ain't got to make no announcement.
Right.
That's somebody who's trying to be seen, be known. Just do your thing. Most of us don't even know who you are anyway.
Right.
I mean, let's get real.
Like to do it.
Let's get real. Most of us don't know who you are, but the people in your local area that know that you denounce, or if you move somewhere else. So why are you on social media making a big deal about something, and you really spreading stuff that shouldn't even be spread? Because some, like I told you earlier, it's a head thing. Somebody done got in your head and made you think that this is what they were doing to you, which is not true. Like you just said, God is through everybody's organization. Everybody's organization and it's God. It has God involved in it. If you listen to, if you read, it's there. So like you said, it's a personal decision that you made. So keep it personal. That's just where I'm at with it. Just keep it personal.
And I would say, this is Otissa's personal opinion. Put that out there. Even though I've made it known publicly to some people. If you really research your divine nine, every divine nine came out of a spiritual gathering. That was the foundation of our divine nine. And if you go back to your history, we were born on spirituality, period. So to me, if you're denouncing that, you're denouncing who you are as an individual, because you're always going to come across somebody that's going to want to hurt you or defame you or whatever. But do you denounce who you are as an African American woman, as an African American male? Do you denounce your family because they hurt you or they may have done something to you? It's the same concept, because that's why I say, when you do your research, and like you said, why I gotta go public? That's between me and God. Nobody else needs to know that. Nobody else needs to know what I'm doing. That's my personal thing. So that's where I come from. When I see somebody or somebody says that to me, that's between them and God. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I know where my foundation came from.
I would share that as an ordained minister. So I'm gonna give there are some that will put on others that this is idolatry. But again, when you do your research, that is not the case.
So if you all had the opportunity to do it all over again, would you do it? And would you choose the organization that you represent today?
I would say that absolutely I would do it. I would choose the organization that I chose today. And I'll answer a previous question that you asked earlier. I hated all 11 weeks of my of my process. 2 weeks underground, 9 weeks above ground. 9 of us started, 5 of us crossed the burning sands. And I hated every minute of it until I crossed the burning sands. But yes, I would do it. I would do it all over again. The relationships I've forged, the networks, the friends over the years, the 5 guys that I crossed with. I mean, I'm one of the 5. So the other 4 guys I crossed with, we still get together every year to celebrate our Sigma-versary. We just came back from Yankee Stadium, where hip hop just turned 50 years old, and so there was a big concert at Yankee Stadium. We got together and hung out there that entire weekend as hip hop turned 50, and we do that every year. We do something every year. So I have no reservations whatsoever about what I did 33 years ago.
Kim, you messed me up, man. No, I'm still ready. It's just I think of it like this. I would join IOTA, yes. What I want to go through, what I went through to get in, no. No. And I come from a mindset of, I'm not the only one. It's a lot of us that think this. If you went through and I'm not knocking what you saying, what your thing is, but if you went through some of the stuff some of us had to go through to get in, you ain't trying to do this again. You ain't trying to do this again. You don't want this again. So when I hear people say, yeah, I'll do it all over again. No, you didn't go through a process. You didn't go through a process. You went through something, but you didn't go through a process. So it's like, but yeah, I'll do this all over again. I would definitely join this organization all over again. I have no regrets, no hesitation about my organization. I love my organization. Anybody who knows me knows I rock with IOTA all day long. We get the knuckling behind this bad boy.
I know that's right.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm sure we all agree we will choose this organization again, but I'll say this because we're talking about kids coming into school and doing their research. I chose Alpha Kappa Alpha 17 years before I joined Alpha Kappa Alpha. Because when I was on the campus of VCU, and I'm dating myself, Alpha Kappa Alpha was not there. And that was when I got there, I knew that's what I wanted to do. That's who I wanted to be. And I didn't have that opportunity as an undergrad. Graduated, got married, started living life, doing other things, building careers. But I knew that if I ever had the chance at the graduate level, that's still where I was going, right? So once you make that choice, for a lifetime.
Yeah, piggybacking off of what you said, I made the choice in 1999 as a freshman in college that this is what I wanted to do, and I had to wait 10 years uh, to cross into the organization. But would I join the organization of all over again? Of course, of course. Um, that's it.
So we're gonna wrap it up, but before we do, let's see those hand signs. We can go one by one if you like. Same time, same time, same time. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, don't y'all look so nice with y'all hand signs. So I understand there are some famous drinks associated.
I don't remember the question.
With your organization. First of all, I want to know, did you bring me some? Your juice, your drink, that's associated. And I know it's not water, and I know it's I know it's not water. So do you all have a famous drink in your organization, and did you bring me some? That was the question.
Yes and no.
So can you tell us what it's called or no?
Yeah, what's
What
it
is it called? We have Centaur Piss over here.
It's called Centaur Piss. It's just the green. It's green in color. Now, what's in it? Yeah.
Yeah, secret.
We have duck sauce, and it looks like like Chinese food duck sauce. I can make you some, but you don't drink, so it's okay. But I can say the Sigma juice. I love y'all. Y'all juice is good.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah, so we make blue juice, and I am an official blue juice maker. Every chapter generally has one who's that dude, and pretty much I'm that dude. I'm that dude. So VSU homecoming. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I'll stop there. I'll stop.
All right, so I it should probably be said that these drinks aren't official parts of our organizations. Let's make that clear. Let's make that clear. We gotta say that they're not official parts, but Kappas have been known to make what's called Noop juice.
Okay.
It's delicious. I'm not a maker of it, but I've heard things. Of course, the recipes are secret. On the blue juice, I will say this. The first time I ever got drunk in my life, I was a sophomore in college. It was on blue juice. I can't lie. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. It's
Well, let me throw out a disclaimer before they get all out on social media. I am not a drinker, so I don't drink. And I was kidding about the drink, bringing me some. But I appreciate you all coming, just sitting and chatting with me about your organizations and why they should join and your process or part of your process or whatever. And I appreciate each and every one of you. So when the children young adults go to the colleges and things, they have an array of decisions. They have decisions. They have choices to make who they want to be a part of. And again, I thank you all for coming and chatting with me and talking about your organizations. And thank you and have a great day.
Everybody's searching for it. Some travel far and wide for it. But they don't even realize